185 is that it's notifying you that there's still a check out there that hasn't cleared yet. When that,
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Heather. Kathleen here.
Hi, Kathleen. Nice to finally.
I know. Excellent. Yeah, so everyone's just zooming on now.
Okay.
So we just have just a few minutes before we start.
Okay.
We see Julie and Donna and Wendy, and Aaron and Bethany and Thomas, Linda, David, Emily. Hey, Nick, Diane, Sam.
Hey, Diane. I don't see her yet.
Hello.
There's Diane on this iPad. Hi, Diane. I can see you. We don't see you, Diane. There she is.
You can see me now.
Yeah. Hi. How's Florida? Yeah, how's Florida?
Not in Florida yet.
No?
No, I go Tuesday.
Oh, safe trip, kiddo. Yeah.
Nick, I like your background a lot. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Hold on a minute.
Hey, Katie.
Hello.
Hi, Katie.
So remember, guys, just a nice friendly reminder, when we are ready to start, I'd like to ask you to all go on mute, okay?
Yep.
When we're ready to go. We're very excited for today.
Yeah, I'm excited to share Puppies Behind Bars with you guys as well.
Who here likes puppies?
I'm sure everybody who doesn't love puppies.
It's like asking who likes chocolate.
Right.
Katie, Santiago.
I love puppies.
I know, Katie. I'm very sorry, Katie. Oh, Katie lost her friend this week, so I'm very sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Katie.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
He's not in pain anymore, so that's all we can ask.
Yeah. And you still have your memories.
Yep.
Gilbert.
I am here.
And Allie has joined us. Cool. All right.
Gilbert.
One more.
Hi.
He's from Puppies. He's from Puppies Behind Bars.
Yeah, excellent. No, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Yeah. I'll definitely be going on mute because my next door neighbor is doing major reconstruction next door. So all I hear are the dump trucks and the trucks all day. Juliana's joined us. Megan, Natalia, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Bethany, is your sister still here?
Nope.
No, she went back home. I bet it was fun to have her here, right? Yeah, did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and Rebecca's signing on.
Put you on mute, okay? All right.
All right, everybody. It is. Oh, and Casey's joining us. Welcome, Casey. So it is now 1 o'clock, and I'm very happy to welcome you all to Sparkle Power Hour this week. And we have very special guests from Puppies Behind Bars. They're going to tell us about their mission, right? We all know how important a mission is because we have our mission that we live by and we love every single day and the importance of it, and the training program and what they're all about and what they do. And I know Kenny's going to be joining us too. And the Agnew family they introduced me to Puppies Behind Bars because they volunteer for Puppies Behind Bars. And it's a great organization and for opportunity and to give back and get these amazing puppies to provide service for those who definitely need it and to help them make their lives better. So welcome. We have Heather O'Brien from
Hi,
Puppies Behind
everybody.
Bars. And I see Gilbert.
Yes,
Welcome, Gilbert.
There you go.
And so without further ado, everyone, so if you could please, if you're not on mute yet, if you could put on mute, so we'll allow Heather and Gilbert to introduce us and teach us all about Puppies Behind Bars, and then later we'll open up the floor for questions. Okay, everybody? All right. So welcome you both. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you for having us.
We greatly appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. And I will now hand over the floor to you.
Okay. So I'm Heather. I work for Puppies Behind Bars. I do a few things for puppies. One is I assist with whelping the puppies, and I also take care of them for the first 8 weeks of their lives, doing early socialization and getting them prepared to go into the facilities to their raisers. When I'm not doing that, I also take dogs out of the facilities and just work with them, see how they're doing, if they, have any issues and what we can do to work on those issues. Do you want to introduce yourself, Gilbert?
Sure. Hello, I'm Gilbert, and I'm an instructor at Puppies Behind Bars. I teach in 3 facilities. I teach, inmates how to work with the dogs and how to care for the dogs and how to get the training right for the dogs. And that's a big majority of the work that I do there. And I also do the scheduling, which I have to work with the volunteers that want to host dogs. They come to the prison and they take dogs out, and they take the dogs out into the world so the dogs can experience the world at large in a positive manner, so they could gain confidence, and so they could execute their commands in every different environment. So if we was just to train the dogs indoors in the prison, they would be perfect inside. But once we take them outside to the real world, there'll be so many distractions, things that are new to them, they wouldn't be able to focus. So the volunteers play a big role in allowing the dogs to get comfortable in these different environments.
And if I may, Heather and Gilbert, just so everybody has a better understanding of what Puppies Behind Bars the organization is. So they train prison inmates. So it's literally Puppies Behind Bars to raise service dogs for wounded war veterans and for first responders, as well as we've seen dogs that know how to detect, right, an explosive. We've seen that in some of the movies we've had at the theater. So so I'll let you take that more from there, just give them a better understanding.
So yes, so like she said, we train prison inmates to raise service dogs for wounded war veterans, for first responders. We also train explosive detection canines, which is the bomb sniffing dog. And now we also are giving our dogs to active duty police officers for officer health and wellness, as well as community outreach. So that's what we do. I'll kind of give you some history. So in 1997, our CEO and founder, Gloria Gilbert Stoga, started Puppies Behind Bars. Initially, it was started in Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, which is a women's maximum security prison. And we started off with linking up with Guiding Eyes for the Blind and started training guide dogs. Because Puppies is ever evolving and growing and changing, we, in 2002, after 9/11, started training explosive detection canines. Then in 2006, because of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, we started then training service dogs. So 2006, we started training service dogs. And then 2018, we started training the dogs for not only the veterans, but first responders. And then in 2019 was the first time that we actually gave a dog to an active duty police officer. So that is what we do. And there's a lot involved with puppies. So as Gilbert says, we have volunteers. So our puppies go into the facilities around 8 weeks old. And that's when they go in and they go with their raisers. But as Gilbert said, we're training working dogs. So they cannot get exposed to the world by their raisers. So we have volunteers, which is a very vital part of our program, because if it wasn't for them, our puppies would not be able to be working dogs, because they wouldn't be able to be exposed to the things they need to be exposed to work. So that's that. We also have our own breeding program. So we breed our own dogs, we whelp them, and then we take care of them for the first 8 weeks. That's part of what I do. And around 4 weeks old, we start allowing volunteers to come and help socialize them. We want to make everything positive and fun. And so, you know, just little things, taking them into the bathroom for the first time, letting them go outside, you know, making everything positive. And like I said, they go into the prisons at 8 weeks old, and they stay there until they're about between 16 and 24 months, when they're ready to become working dogs. Gilbert, do you want to add anything?
I think that was perfect.
Okay. So we started the breeding program. I have a little surprise for you guys. So we actually have some puppies here now. They're going to be 2 weeks old tomorrow. So I would like to show them to you if you guys would like to see them.
Hey.
Okay. So while they're here with us, we take very special care of them. So we have to weigh them every day, twice a day, make sure that they're nursing, we take care of the mom. It's a lot that goes into taking care of the puppies the first 8 weeks. Okay, I'm gonna turn it around, and the mom is in there with them right now. Can you guys see them?
Oh,
Are you guys able to see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll pick one up for you guys.
So Kenny, there's a mom dog, and how many puppies are there? 3 there?
There's 6.
There's 6. So the mom looks like a yellow lab, and the babies are all black labs.
One yellow.
Well, there's
One
one yellow.
yellow.
Yes, one yellow. And this is Ro. Her name is Ro.
Hey, Ro.
Yeah. So.
Is the mother okay with you touching the puppies?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, these puppies are with humans from the day that they're born. So that's all they know. They love, I mean, when they're in the facilities with their raisers, they're with their raisers 24/7. So they're literally never without people from the day that they're born. So
Do you all name them from birth?
So that's a good question. So we have sponsors that name them. They donate $6,000 and they get to name the puppy. And during the puppy's time in the facility with their raisers, they get updated letters, pictures, to show how the puppy is growing and progressing. And then when the puppy does graduate, they get a journal, which the raiser keeps for the puppy's life with them. So they, you know, write in a journal daily updates, or, you know, Ro learned a new command today, or Ro went with the volunteer to the park. And that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Does everybody understand what a razor is? And
No.
I don't mean by like to shave.
So yeah. So a raiser is the inmate that actually raises the puppy in the facility. So that's what a raiser is. So it's actually the person that trains and takes care of the puppy inside the facilities.
And did you see, this is the journal, just so you guys can get a look of it. So the raiser, once the puppy gets to him, he starts his journal. It has pictures. It may have some teeth, the puppy teeth when they fall out. And they like to add like little cute art designs and pictures and everything like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Is there a puppy tooth fairy, Gilbert?
Well, I tell you, it's one thing that all the raisers are actually really work hard in trying to find the teeth, because sometimes it's them playing and all of a sudden you may see a little bit of blood on the toy and you know the tooth fell out, and now you have raisers looking through the grass and stuff
everywhere.
trying to find the tooth, you know? Yeah.
So yeah, also when the puppies are ready to graduate and become working dogs, we have something called team training. Yeah, usually, so team training is 2 weeks. Our clients come, and for 2 weeks, and usually this happens inside the facility. They go into the facilities, and the raisers and mates train the clients on how to properly take care of their dog, how to utilize the dog. They teach them the commands, basically everything they would need to know on how to properly utilize and take care of their service dog. Now, obviously, due to COVID, we're doing it virtually, but thank goodness we're still be able to do it, and the raiser inmates are still able to be involved. And actually, one is coming up. It's starting Monday, so we'll have clients being paired and matched with their service dog. And at Puppies, we really make sure that we pair our clients with the right dog for them. So we take careful consideration. We always look at the lifestyle and what dog would be best for what client. So that's very important to us to make sure that we match the right person with the right dog. So what else? There's definitely a lot more to talk about puppies. So during COVID, when the pandemic first started, we were not able to, and we're still not able to actually go in and instruct, but we do it virtually, but we weren't able to go in and, get puppies out. So the facilities work with us, and our instructors were able to still go in, take puppies out, give them to the volunteers. So our volunteers were able to still socialize our puppies, which was great because socialization is one of the most important things for our dogs. So that was really good. Anything you want to add, Gilbert? Or?
No, I mean, and tell you, when the COVID hit, I mean, it was a situation that had to really be thought out to see how we can continue to be active with the puppies, right? We were almost so close to having to consider even taking the dogs out of the prison. But like Heather said, they actually worked with us, allowed us to be able to get the dogs out in some way, even though it wasn't the normal way, but the staff would go in and bring them out. So we really needed that, because at that time we also received some new puppies during that time that Heather had to hold them to a little longer time, until we got them in the prison. And those are crucial time. So it was a crucial time for the dogs, and we really need to get them out. And luckily that the facilities did work with us, and we managed, and the volunteers stuck through it. Because, some volunteers, once the COVID hit, they decided they wanted to fall back. I mean, and it's understandably so, there was fear of, contracting any of this COVID. So, you had a lot that left, but you also had a lot that stayed, and they stuck it through. And we really appreciate that. A lot of them are coming back now as they get vaccinated. They're starting to feel comfortable and coming back. So we're starting to get that volunteer group is starting to grow back again, which is very good.
Yeah.
And, and the raisers also during this time, I give them a lot of credit. Without us going in physically, a lot of the senior raisers took it upon themselves to start actually, filling in for when, for things that we cannot do. They had to take a lot more responsibility to make sure the dogs are really right, like checking the weight and stuff like that of the dogs. A little harder to see the weight when you're looking at it through video. So they were able to see it, so they stepped up too, and we kept everything together, so that it was a tough time, but we adapted and we overcame. So
yeah,
I'm happy for that.
And I also want to say that we are, because I did not mention, we are in 5 facilities in New York State. So one women's facility, which is Bedford Hills, then downstate Fishkill, Walk Hill and Otisville. And then we're also in one facility in New Jersey, Edinburgh, which is a women's facility. And they strictly train just explosive detection canines. So that's what they do in New Jersey. So we also, since we breed our own dogs, we have broods, and during their time where we will need to breed them, we look for foster families to take care of them while they're waiting to become pregnant, during their pregnancy, and after they are done here and the puppies are weaned and getting ready to go, they go back to the foster family. So that's something we do. Because puppies love our dogs so much and want the best for them, not all of our dogs become working dogs. Not all of them make it. So we also adopt the dogs out that aren't able to be working dogs and make sure that, and that's like it's a pretty big process. Just like we want to make sure that we match the perfect dog for the client, we also want to make sure that when we adopt our dogs that they're going to the right family. So we have to make sure that the family's right for them and they're right for the family, because we always care about the well-being of our dogs first.
Mm-hmm. And can I just add to that, because I used to deal with adoptions as well, is that a lot of people want dogs. They want dogs in their life, but the truth of it is that not everybody has a lifestyle for a dog. I mean, if you're working 10 hours a day, that's 10 hours you're going to be away from the dog. And our dogs, like Heather said, are with people pretty much since the day they were born. So to then send them out and to leave them in a house by themselves for 10 hours is not fair. So what we do is is a application that's filled out, and we really look at it. We look at it, how is the dog going to be exercised? How long the dog is going to be alone? Who's going to care for the dog? And then again, exercise has to be explained, because a lot of people think exercise is just walking the dog, 2 blocks around your neighborhood. And that's not really exercise. We focus more on off-leash, dog-on-dog interaction exercise, where they can match each other's energy. Yes, you could play fetch with the dogs and you could go swimming with the dogs, but not everybody has that ability to do those things in their day. So, sometimes, a lot of applicants that we have, sometimes we cannot give them a dog, because if we're the advocates for the dogs, we want to make sure that the quality of the life for the dog is maintained. So I mean, and it's not, people work and we understand that, but if they cannot provide that quality of life for the dog, then we just feel it's not the best time in their life to have a dog. So,
and with puppies, exercise for our dogs is very important, because they are going to be working dogs, so they need that time to just be a dog and have fun. And when they are inside with the inmates and raisers, they get the least amount is 3 hours of exercise a day, and so our dogs are used to that. That's part of their lifestyle, and that's something that they enjoy and that they become accustomed to. So we always want to continue that for them.
I got a question, because I see that there's a little text message that comes up with questions. Are we supposed to answer those now, or are we going to wait till later?
Thank you, Gilbert, for noticing that. No, we're going to open up the floor for questions when both of you are done. So thank you for those chats. Remember those chats. We're going to address all those questions that came up. There are really good questions. And I see, well, speaking of question now, I see Chris DeBeese has had his hand up. So Chris, you have a question?
Yeah, when the puppies come out of the mom, and somebody wants to buy some or rescue one, how can you tell that it's a female or all males and all females, and you don't know which one is what?
So the puppies that we breed, they're never sold or rescued. They are bred specifically to be trained as a working dog. But when they come out, it's pretty clear if they're a boy or a girl, because they have the boy part or the girl part. So as soon as they come out, you can tell if it's a boy or a girl. It's not that difficult to
Okay, take care. Okay, no problem.
yeah. So
Chris is a big dog
Yeah.
lover. He has,
Yeah.
yes.
Can I add one more thing to that in the breeding process?
Yes.
That there's very careful attention into the mating. So the females that are selected to be moms and the dads that are selected to be dad, the dogs will be selected to be dads, are selected for specific reasons, for health reasons, temperament reasons. Not so much the looks, but definitely the health and the temperament. So like we want to, this way, when they have puppies, you're kind of getting those good qualities is what we try to get.
Yes.
So then at that point, there's none that's going to be a given away or adopted, because we pretty much want them all. As time goes on, you might see that then, like if there's out of 10 pups, let's just say, 7 may make it in the program and 3 may end up, either having a behavioral issue or something that we try very hard to get over with, but then sometimes you can't. The dog is already at the point of his age, 2 years old, and we have to make a decision so that we could get more puppies into the program. And so then that's when we decide if we have to put the dog up for adoption. And then very rarely we also have where the dog has to be released for health issues. Not as much, mainly a lot of them is for behavior issues, but sometimes you have health issues, a hip dysplasia or elbow dysplasia, or maybe an eye problem, something like that.
Right. So I just want everyone to understand, though, when they say that won't make it in the program, I mean, they're still loved, they're taken care of, and they're
Absolutely.
adopted. They're adopted to people to become part of their families instead of becoming a team member or a service
They're no working
member
status.
along with someone. So everyone finds a role or their place and purpose in life. Majority are going to be working service dogs, and then some will be welcomed into a home and become the family pet. Okay.
And actually, I wish I could be adopted by some of those families.
Right.
They're great. I mean,
Yes.
they have when we select a family, they have it, pretty much together, and they have a lifestyle that is going to be perfect for that dog. That dog is going to have a life on the beach, on the lake, is going to be running around. He's going to have friends to run around and play with. He's always going to be with people, and they have a beautiful life. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's special about puppies, and it's just that we really, our number one and main priority are the puppies. Like, we want to make sure that they live the best and have the happiest life possible. So just even when, taking applications for clients, it's not easy, that we really, make sure that the clients are going to be the right fit for our dogs as well. And another thing,
there are some applicants that get denied. They just don't, they're not in a position to be able to take care of the dog. And even though the dog is going to be working for them, they still need, those basic necessities. They still need to go out and get exercise and need to, so that client still needs to be able to provide that.
And love is very important.
Absolutely. I have a question. I know with Guiding Eyes, because of their donations and that they have, so when someone is matched with a dog, they are given that dog. So because I know the creation and the raising of the puppy to the dog to this, then the training is significant. There's a significant financial. Are all of who end up getting one of Puppies Behind Bars service dogs, is that as well? Is that given? Is that free? Is that based on?
Free of charge.
Absolutely. All our puppies are donated to our clients. So there's no charge.
And for team training, I mean, we fly them here free. We fly them, we give them room and board for the 2 weeks that they're here, and fly them back with the dog.
Yeah, everything is paid for. So
yeah.
And another thing I want to say about puppies that's like really amazing and special is that, being in prison obviously is not easy. And, just having Puppies Behind Bars in facilities gives people in the facilities a chance to do something different and allows them to give back, and it provides them you know, a way to be constructive with their time and, you know, be responsible and give love and receive love. And then in turn, you know, these dogs are then helping, you know, the veterans and first responders, explosive detection canines. And it's just like a full circle. Everybody is just, you know, helping everybody. And it's just like, it's very beautiful, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Was. So, Sam, you've had several very good questions. Could you ask them, please, if you're?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I love your mission, by the way. I think it's really beautiful. A couple that I've had, have any of the raisers that have joined your company after they get out because they loved your program so much?
So yes, there have been raisers who have been hired by Puppies Behind Bars that, and it gave them an opportunity to come out and have a job and do something they love. So yes, definitely there are raisers that work for ex-raisers that work for Puppies Behind Bars.
I love that. And was your mission hard to originally pitch to the prisons that you work with, or were they on board right away?
So I wasn't there when Puppies first started. That would be a question for Gloria that I don't know the answer to. I can say that now the prisons are very much on board. They love the program. The commissioner of DOC, the commissioner of dogs, loves the program. He advocates for it, and he's definitely for Puppies Behind Bars. So as of right now, the facilities are definitely for us and are willing to help us continue this in any way.
I hope you guys get to, you know, all of the prisons across the states, because I think this is something that everybody should know about.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, actually, just so you know, like if somebody is in a prison that does not have the actual program, they can request through their counselor or the DEPA programs that they're interested. So when, you know, when time comes and they could make a move, chances are they could move them to the facility where the program is and they could participate. But they still have to go through the screening process, which, you know, we could explain in a bit, but they definitely got to get screened and, you know, before they could come into the program.
Oh, so that would be interesting. Would definitely love to hear how you pick the people that you select to be raisers inside the puppy raisers inside the prisons.
So you have to write somebody in the facility. Usually it's a counselor that works there or the liaison for Puppies Behind Bars, and you write them and say, hey, I would like to be part of Puppies Behind Bars. Initially, they're going to look at your disciplinary record just to make sure that you haven't gotten in a lot of trouble, that you're kind of doing the right thing and on the right path while you're in the facility. And then once that's finished, then you'll have an interview. So you come down to Puppies Behind Bars, the instructors and the other raisers interview the person. So do you want to talk about the interview process? Because you've done that a lot, Gilbert.
So basically, you know, we want to know more or less their goal or their reason for wanting to join the program. And then we also have to look at, you know, consider how much time they have left in the prison in general. It takes about almost 2 years to raise a puppy to completion. So, I mean, if you don't have that much time in, and let's say you're going to go home in 6 months, we wouldn't really benefit from that. I mean, you know, you would leave before you probably would even get a dog. So, you know, we look for that. We look for, so basically the reasoning, and a lot of it is because they want to give back to society. They want to, you know, they feel like they've done a lot of harm or a lot of bad, and they finally want to do something good, you know, and that is a good reason to want to be in the program. You know, like some facilities have the visits, conjugal visits, where they could have trailer visits with their families, and some don't. And I don't even know now if they do holds. They used to do holds in the facility. So if you became a participant in the program, they would put a hold on you and you couldn't just be moved around, you know, in the state. So that was a big motivation for a lot of guys that wanted to stay in the prison, that they would want to participate in the program just to stay in the prison, you know. So that is not a reason we would like for them to be participating in the program. We want them to be genuinely interested in, you know, learning about dog training, or wanting to give back to society, do something good, learn a skill, something they can use when they get out. So, you know, that's what the interview is going to consist of. See if they're able to work as a team. Can they take constructive criticism? You know, are they willing to put in a lot of textbook time? You know, they have to learn the information. You know, are you willing to kind of let your guard down in the program? Because people in prison usually have a persona that they want to portray in prison, right? Because prison is kind of hard and cold. So they develop this personality. But when you come into Puppies, we want you to break that down. You cannot be that tough, macho person that is kind of cold-hearted and be in this program. So eventually, you know, the dogs melt them away. I don't care who you are. Eventually, when you see these puppies, you go, ooh and ah, and I don't care, you know, what your crime was. That's usually the effect. Mm-hmm. Another thing that we look at into is, and I think the facility is your instant offense. So if your instant offense is something like, for example, cruelty against animals, that would be something that you can't come into the program. If you have if your crimes are based on targeting certain populations like elderly or things like that, that would bar you from the program as well. You know, because you deal with a lot of volunteers and stuff like that, and we can't have you going off on somebody because that would be terrible. So, you know, those things are all looked at. So it's a tough criteria, but it's good because we don't want to ruin what we have going, you know?
Right. And like Gilbert said, they deal with volunteers. So volunteers actually come into the facilities to pick up our dogs. So the raisers will walk the dog down and actually pass the dog off to the volunteers. So, you know. Yes.
Aaron, you have a question, buddy?
Yeah. So how do prison inmates deal with dogs?
How do they deal with dogs?
Yeah.
Like, the population besides the raisers?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, majority of the time, they brings a smile to their face. Just like in the real world, there's some people who are afraid of dogs, who don't like dogs. But I would say the majority of the prison population enjoys seeing the dogs, and it brings a smile to their face. Especially when little 8-week-old puppies come in and they're walking around and you know, you can pet them and hold them. So I think majority of the time it's a positive effect on the population more than a negative.
Yeah, and I could add to that that it's pretty much having the dog actually again makes things makes moments a lot easier to communicate, because sometimes you could find something neutral like the puppy to talk about. So it'd be me and Heather, if, you know, I was walking, we never talk to each other, but if there's a dog there, I can say, oh my God, that dog is so cute, or whatever the case, and we're talking about the dog, and it brings us, it kind of helps break the ice. And that is also not only for inmate to inmate, but staff to inmate.
Yeah.
Because sometimes now the conversation is about the puppy, that brings you to kind of communicate a little bit easier. And that's just the magic that dogs do.
Yeah.
You know,
they just have that love about them.
They are magical. If I may, and to not put you on the spot at all, Jean Agnew, but could you, I'd love to hear, I know the Agnews are big volunteers and they love the program, and I thank them for introducing me to the program. So you guys want to talk a bit about your role? And I know, Jean, you've gone through volunteer training.
Yeah, it's great. I'm so happy I'm in the program.
Yeah.
And Kenny, why don't you talk about having the dog in our house and what you like about it?
Well, it's nice to have a four-legged friend again because we lost Jackie too. So it kind of brings the effect of having a dog for a short period of time instead of all the time, which is nice. But they're good dogs.
They're excellent.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are so well trained. It's unbelievable how they act even as just little puppies. The one thing I always find funny is because they grow so fast, when we get them when they're like 14 months old, they're still puppies, but I think of them as a grown-up dog.
Yeah.
Jean had a
But-
really tough assignment lately, right? Haven't you become now a puppy cuddler? You go and you play with the puppy.
Oh, yeah.
For the newborn puppies, yeah, after, what is it, when they're, how
4
old?
weeks. 4 weeks.
When they're 4 weeks old,
Yeah.
there was a program I participated in with Puppies Behind Bars, right where Heather is right now, where the new puppies are, where, we got to go and cuddle the puppies, get them used to being touched.
and
We
petted.
massaged, I was taught how to massage it, and just, they're so used to being touched by the time they're done with this that, they would never snap at anyone or, I know our personal dog at home that we had, if you touched her in the wrong spot, you were gonna get snapped. Well, these dogs will never do that. They just love everybody. And, taking them for rides in the car so they would get used to going in a car. Oh, I loved it. And
Are you gonna do it again?
I can't wait. When can I come up for this new batch of puppies?
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Come on up, and Jennifer will send you, the
Yeah, I'll get an email about doing it. I'll definitely do it again. I would come home so relaxed from being there.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Sounds like the best
Yeah,
day
you get to
ever.
see them. You get to see them as puppies, and then you get to see them as they grow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were 8 weeks old when they go to the facility, right?
Yes.
And then can volunteers take them out at 8 weeks, or do they stay in the facility a while before we can take them out?
So good question. So we do have them when they're out. So 8 weeks, what we got to do is wait. They get to go on normal visits, regular visits, once they get their rabies shot. If they go out before that, there's a certain criteria that we require.
Okay.
Like we don't want them to come in contact with other dogs because they haven't got their vaccinations yet. Once they get to that point and they get vaccinated, they could go on regular visits. And so that's, 12 weeks around there.
Yeah, around 12 weeks. So I want to talk about one more thing because we've talked about volunteers a lot because they are very important to Puppies Behind Bars. But just like becoming a raiser or, getting one of our dogs as a client, the same with volunteers. We have to do background checks. It's kind of like a little interview before you come, and then you have to do a training. So usually the training is either one day for a few hours or 2 days. And during that time, we will teach you the commands they know, how to handle certain situations when you're out with our dogs, like if they're pulling or if they, pick something up that they're not supposed to have, things like that. So with the volunteers as well, we just want to make sure that our dogs are always in great hands. Like I said, the dogs are the most important thing, so.
Excellent. Now let's open up the floor to Natalia had a question, and what's the most, and I'll have each of you answer if you would, what's the most rewarding part of your job?
You want to go first, Gilbert?
No, I want to think about it. Can you?
Okay. So there's not one specific thing that's most rewarding. I think just number one, being able to work with dogs, and on a regular basis is rewarding. Knowing that I'm part of a mission, I'm part of something that is helping not only people, but inmates. Just our whole mission is amazing. And just, we're always, it's like I said, it's a full circle. So we're always, helping people, and we're always evolving and changing to, you know, what's going on in the world, what's going on with dogs, what's going on in the facility. So I just think just being a part of this mission and this organization is just the most rewarding for me.
Yeah, I think as an instructor, I think one of the things that brings me a lot of pleasure is that when a raiser comes into the program, they come in knowing nothing about dog training or anything. And I get a lot of pleasure when I see the raiser as a person, as a trainer grow. And that from day one, when they were like come in and they got a straight face and they're very serious. And, you know, next thing you know, a year later, 2 years down the road, depending, you see their personality really change. They really flourish, you know, and that brings me joy. I feel like I've done my job. I feel that the group as a whole has done a good job in nurturing these individuals that come into the program, so that they may start off as a new person, but they end up becoming a senior raiser and they pass that along and it keeps going. So what happens is that the program ends up almost running itself, where new raisers become older raisers kind of teach and mentor the newer raisers. And that brings me a lot of pleasure to know that it's working. Yes, there's guys that do leave and they quit, but then you have those few that continue on. They get the concept. They become really dog people. That to me is, you know, I feel like I've done a job. I did my work. I feel like, you know, and they could come out and they get option. They got opportunities to use those skills wherever they go, you know. And then also to see the dogs that were raised up in the facilities where I'm at, to go on to be working dogs is also gives me a lot of pleasure. It gives me a lot of happiness to know that. So those are the big things for me.
They're huge. Are there any certain breeds of dogs that you have found work best for this?
So we only use Labrador retrievers. That's all we breed. That's all we use is Labrador retrievers, because they're so biddable, because they just love people naturally and they just want to, you know, be around us. And just like they make us happy, they want to make us happy just like we make them happy. So the Labrador retrievers is the breed that we use.
Excellent. Juliana, I see you had a question. Would you like to ask it, please?
I was going to say this is just absolutely incredible work that you're doing. Really beautiful. What have you now? A couple of things is, have you offered this program to other prisons, like across other states, or is it specifically for New York, New Jersey, the Northeastern Seaboard?
So we only work with Department of Corrections in New York State, and then the one facility in New Jersey. There are other prison programs in other states. We don't work with them. We don't, you know, run them. We're Puppies Behind Bars. We're in New York, and the one facility in New Jersey.
Nice. And then my other question is, what are the transformations that you've seen in the raisers that you've witnessed after they work with the dog? Like, have you had anybody come in that's really like, you think there's no getting through to them, and all at once there's this whole.
So the dog that they were just showing, sorry, I want to answer your question, but his name is Bogey. He was the last litter. So I think he's like 13 weeks now. How old is he, Gilbert? Can you show him again or no?
He just went over there to follow Tito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
coming now.
Yeah.
So he's right there.
So that's Bogey. He's 13 weeks or 14 weeks old.
13? Yeah. 13, yeah.
Yeah. And so he just was here about a month ago. He just left almost a month ago.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's gonna be a winner.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, we can get back. Sorry for interrupting for puppies.
Don't worry about it. Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah. So what was the question again?
So like, what transformation, like, have you seen anybody really have a profound transformation from when they started working as a raiser? Like, you thought, oh, for sure, there's nothing, and then it just completely changed for you?
Gilbert?
Yeah, no, I see it a lot. I mean, there's guys I see come into the program and no smiling. They're not a smiling type of guy. They're serious nature. And then you gotta understand, I mean, we work in prisons where, you know, there's guys there for all types of crimes. You know, it could be serious as murder. You know, and some of them have a long time to do. Some have done a long time already. And, you know, this environment, the prison environment is not a real happy place. So yeah, they come in and then you know, you kind of think like, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. But you know, they start working with the dogs and you start to see them just blossom. They start to be, you know, you see the humanity in them. You see that inside, they are good people. And, you know, it just starts to come out. And that's what I try not to ever judge a book by its cover. So, you know, if you look at them, you could be, oh, I'm a little intimidated by these guys, you know, they look really tough. As you get to know them and you start to see them working and they start to enjoy the program, they really start to, you know, you start to get a real kind of a bond with them as well. You get to understand them, they understand you, you know, and you see that they are starting to feel really good about themselves. They're doing things, they start doing, you know, sometimes we have media that comes in and you'll see, they'll say, yeah, I'll do an interview, and they do the interview and you're like, wow, you know, this guy is starting to really, you know, come into himself as a person that he should be, you know, and yeah, you see it all the time, you know, you see, I do, and I really appreciate it. I feel like the program really works for them.
But Emily Hockney, you have your hand up.
I can't hear her anymore.
Oh, she's muted. There you go.
Oh, there. Emily?
Hi. How much is an adoption fee for those puppies? How much do you guys charge for an adoption fee?
It's $4,000 to adopt a puppy. If you're a volunteer for over a year, it's $2,000. If the dog has a behavior issue, a major behavior issue, like sometimes we do have, very rarely, but we'll have a dog, let's say, with some type of aggression. So the price is reduced. If the dog has a medical condition, we also consider that, and we will reduce the price. Because, you know, if it's like a dysplasia and it's not bad now, as the dog gets older, the dog can develop like arthritis and will probably need more medical, you know, medications or something like that. So we consider that and we reduce the price.
So again, these are for the dogs that don't qualify for the program after some training. So but they do work to find great homes for these dogs.
Right.
And most of the time it's when they don't make it, it's because they don't have the confidence. And these dogs are fully trained. I mean, they're amazing dogs. They just don't have the
I feel that our dogs, even if they don't make the program and release as pets, they're above average pets. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're getting a dog that knows a numerous amount of commands, a dog that has a great temperament, personality. It could be that one thing that the dog barks at, like people at a distance, like, you know, he gets a little nervous, or like a bag flying in the wind and he doesn't know what it is, and he may bark, alert bark, like say, hey, you know, danger, danger. That's basically his what he's trying to say. And because of that, you know, he doesn't work. But some people don't mind that if a dog barks or somebody comes to your door and they're rattling outside, you know, the dog barks and says, hey, somebody's there. Some people actually like that, but so it's above average pet regardless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So looking through sample. Does anybody, I see a lot of great comments. Amazing. Oh, they're beautiful, cute. So anyone else have any more questions?
I do want to add something. When you asked about the questions about being in other, maybe more facilities and stuff, I think one of the things that our boss, Gloria, she's more into quality than in quantity. And so when you expand like that and go to like different states, the logistics become a little bit more difficult to kind of make sure that things are going on. because that means you would have to have staff that live out there, and then it's so spread out. Gloria likes to know everything that's going on with the dogs, and it's like quality and control type of thing. And so, if you expand too much, sometimes the quality goes down.
Well said. That's a great point. Completely understand. Diane, you have, yeah.
Yes, have you guys ever considered adopting from a pound or anything?
I'll tackle that one. We used to do that when we first started too. And what we discovered was that so when you adopt like that, you don't really know the medical history of most of those dogs or the temperaments of, the lineage. And so it becomes a little bit more difficult because you'll find that the failure rate increases because of that, because then the dogs tend to have more behavior issues or medical issues. So we've done that, and we found that, and though it was a good thing, but sometimes you couldn't make them a working dog. You could make them into quality pets, but you couldn't really get them to the working dog status. And so it wasn't the success rate wasn't really there. And even now when we breed our own dogs, it's not 100% success rate. We still have dogs that don't make it. So, we just figured now that, and it's also cost effective. We're doing our own, because we also used to purchase dogs from, known breeders. And so again, we moved into breeding our own dogs. And so it's just, it's all in-house at this time.
Okay.
But there's other programs throughout the country that do that, take dogs from shelters. They work with them and get them ready to be, more manageable so families can adopt them, which I think is a great cause too.
Yeah, because my sister likes to adopt dogs. But with the COVID, there's not many in the pound either right now.
Right, yeah, I heard about
everybody's
that.
adopted them. Everybody has dogs now.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question, and then Juliana, your quick question. Is there a retirement age for the service dogs?
So I don't know specifically if it's an age. Is there a specific age, Gilbert, or
at a certain age, it could, because Ruma Labs, when they hit already 9 years old, 10 years old, they're already getting mature. They're mature dogs already. And we do consider if they're just responding to commands or not. Sometimes they get to a point where they're less active and they kind of slow down, and you could start to see. And since we do, once the dog goes to the veteran or first responder, we also do follow-up visits. So we always keep tabs of how they're doing. How is the dog working with them? Is everything okay? Is the dog gaining weight? And we look at all those things to make sure that even though the dog is working, the dog is still being cared for and still having a good life. So now what happens is that after a certain time, the client may say that the dog now is experiencing certain things, and that time is probably about the time when we have them retire.
Yeah.
And they become regular pets.
Yeah, and most of the time they just end up, they keep the dog because they've had them for their.
Oh, always. I knew Guiding Eyes at one certain age. So they have families that raise them before they go into the training program. And then a lot of times, which I love when you talk about full circle, and your full circle is truly beautiful, is that the retired dog many times will go back to the family that raised them before they were trained, which is nice. Juliana, you had a question.
How has working in this program changed both of you?
Do you want to think about it, Gilbert? Or do you want me to go
Well,
first?
I'll start this time. I started off as a inmate raiser. And yeah, it changed me because it gave me the opportunity to be the person I should be, to do the good things, to take responsibilities, So now I live on my own. I pay my rent. I pay taxes. I work every day, and I think this is what I was supposed to be doing. And I feel like Puppies Behind Bars gave me this opportunity. And I got to say, it's a blessing to come out of prison and to come to get gainfully employed company doing things that you love doing. So I cannot complain. I feel like, I had to learn the hard way. I do agree. I learned the hard way. I went the wrong way, and I realized that was not the way to go. And I found myself again and put myself back on the right path, and doing it with, with the assistance of Puppies Behind Bars, to help me get on track.
Lovely.
Do you have a pet, Gilbert?
Well, funny, I have a cat.
Aw.
I have a cat, and it's because since I'm away from my apartment a lot, again, my lifestyle wouldn't be beneficial to the dog. So the cat is a lot more independent, and I could leave the cat there. And I got an automatic feeder, and I got the automatic water thing, and the cat goes into the litter box. So everything is like perfect for the cat. I leave him alone a lot of time. He leaves me alone. But,
Leave him alone, except when he's scratching you.
yeah, which is, you can see, we always get a wrestling match.
Well said. Now, Heather, you're up.
So I
on the video now.
want to agree with Gilbert as well, because I am also an ex-raiser. But I think that for me, like when I was in the program inside that, it taught me life skills, it taught me how to be responsible and how to be accountable and how to make sure I wake up every morning and do the things that I said I'm going to do, being a puppy raiser. So, and it also, I think this program, it's built my confidence. It's shown me my potential, what I'm capable of. And, it's done a lot for me. And like Gilbert said, just coming out and having a job and doing something that you love and, paying bills and, just being a productive, conducive member of society, and kind of just, I don't know, just being able to even just go on a vacation if you want to, that's.
Yeah. This is actually my first real job ever. I go to prison when I was, 19 years old. I come out like 35 years old. So this is what I know now. This is my life, because this is my job, my first job, my first career, and like she said, it's taking responsibility, getting up in the morning. I hated getting up in the mornings, and now I get up in the morning. So do what I got to do.
Well said. Well, you both represent the company incredibly well. Wow, what a real pleasure and honor to meet both of you. Thank you for all the great work that you do. Oh, of course, Kenny has a question. Of course you do, Kenny. Spark the Power Hour without Kenny questions. Yes. Go ahead, Kenny.
Have you ever had a dog raised for like an epilepsy or something?
So no, we haven't raised any dogs for epilepsy. We just we strictly just raise service dogs or explosive detection canines.
And just to mention, so the service dogs, is more like so the services that they provide are for people that have the post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's almost like an invisible injury, if you could say. It's not something where they have a physical disability, but mentally they have they still are caught up in whatever traumatic experience that they had. So our dogs are geared to help with that, to bring them back, because sometimes they would experience where they sit down for hours at the house and they just kind of like go into their own shell. So the dog helps them bring them out. Sometimes they have nightmares. They have some severe nightmares, and the dog will help them to wake up and get out of that nightmare. And better that the dog does it than another human that tries to wake up a veteran that in his mind he's in a battle in war.
That's a good point. Yeah.
He'll wake up and be scared and may react. But when a dog is out there and pulls the blanket off of him, and maybe licks his face, he tends to kind of not react as he would if a human was trying to wake him up. And at the same time, they become less social. They don't want to go out into society because they feel like everything is a threat. but when they have a dog, people are focusing on the dog and not so much on the person, on the client. So that makes them feel better, you know? So, and
That
then the
makes sense,
dog,
too.
yeah. So the dog does a lot of things like that, keeps them grounded, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
How do
training
you
for all,
decide
like,
which,
a little different training.
how do you decide which dogs become explosive detection dogs and which ones go either to a, you know, like you said, a veteran or a police station?
Yeah.
You-
So usually we, and it can change, but when they leave here at 8 weeks, we kind of have an idea. And we look at their temperament, their energy level. Are they vocal? So if they're high energy and like to bark and run around, then that would be best suited for an exposure detective canine, because when they are doing that work, they have to have a lot of energy, because when they're working, they might have to sniff a whole building out, And for service dogs or departments, we would like them to be a little more mellow. We don't want them to really bark a lot. So those are a few things that we look at when we are deciding, what dog would best suit what job. Great.
They can, like you said, as they get older, like in the
That's
training, sometimes we could determine that a career change would be the best for the dog. And we could sometimes determine that as well.
And right now, as far as going to police departments and being for an individual, we will want the department dog to be very friendly. So we want them to, want to go up to people and, just be a friendly dog. And for an individual, we would want them to be more focused on that one person.
Can you give examples of how a department dog has helped a police department?
Well, we had the first active duty police officer we gave a dog to, her name is Heather McLellan. She's a police officer in Groton, Connecticut. And you could just tell, like, cause she posts a lot of videos and we are in contact with her when she's in her precinct, you can just see the energy of the other officers and even her, her superiors. When Chase walks in, they're like smiling, they're throwing the toy, I think having Chase in the department definitely brings positivity. And if things are happening, I think Chase can kind of just relieve that stress for them and, give them a moment of just having some puppy love and having a good time with Chase. What do you say?
It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. And then
yeah.
as far, and also Heather takes Chase to dare classes. She goes into school and teaches dare classes. So having a dog there with the kids, they love it. And she takes the Chase to the public library. So it's just not only for the department, it's for the community as well, and bridging that gap. You see a police officer with a dog, it kind of takes down the barrier, and you see this beautiful dog that's licking your face and wagging tail, so.
And I gotta say that also, the officers, they deal with a large amount of stress themselves in the occupation that they do. So, it's known that, dogs help bring blood pressure down and stuff like that. And, so when they're in a high tense, they're in a high tense occupation. So when they're in the precinct, they may be having a bad day, and here comes this dog with his tail wagging and he licks you, and he kind of like, for that moment helps you get out of that rut that you're in.
Definitely.
We have two final questions and then we have Trendy Wendy, but Krista Beese, you have a question?
Yeah, when you have puppies and a new mom or a new dad or both, did any of them have like 3 legs, and are they still able to like hang out and play and tackle each other for fun, or do they have to just go away and not be brought in?
So are you asking if a dog is born with like a disability with only 3 legs, what we would do?
Is that the question?
Or if they are born with just 3 legs.
Okay, so fortunately, here at Puppies Behind Bars, we haven't had that happen. If we ever did, they would obviously wouldn't be able to be a working dog, but we definitely would not treat them any differently or separate them or, you know, not love and care for them like we would any other puppy. But thank goodness that has not happened.
Yeah.
David, you have a question?
Yeah. I'm here now.
Hi.
We're here now. I know. I'm glad. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So before we move, our ending is every week is our Wendy, our Trendy Wendy update weekly. So she gives us all. She's our expert on all things trendy, and hence the name Trendy Wendy. So, but before that, wanted to thank Heather Gilbert. Thank you so much for joining us, and please stay for the Trendy Wendy update. But thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing and wonderful, and all learned so much. And thank you for your time and your dedication to the mission. And it really is a beautiful thing. And thank you, Agni family, for making me aware and about Puppies Behind Bars. It's a great organization, and thank you for the great work that you do. And Wendy, if you're all set to go, you want to pull up the your presentation?
Yes.
You remember how to do it?
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this actress Talia Cohen.
Hold on just a second though, Wendy. It's not showing on the screen. There we go. There you go.
You see it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, something's happened.
Great job. Great job. Okay.
Yeah. So this actress Kaylee Cohen, she's awesome. Autism doesn't define me. She plays in Everyone Gonna Be Okay. She is the first TV actress with autism who played the lead character with the, and she also being autism doesn't limit her, but she likes to step in the community and open doors to people with disability.
Yeah, she was a great she really is she's a young woman. She's making her voice be heard, and not letting anything stop her. So thank you, Wendy, for bringing that to our attention. And so if you want to just hit stop share, and okay, there you go. Great job, Wendy.
Good job, Wendy.
Woo! You got, this is like, it's super, yeah, that is not easy to share a screen.
Yeah.
That's a really great skill to have. So it's a great job. Yeah. And thank you
Great
for
job,
that.
Wen.
And so thank you everybody for joining in, and thank you again. Really can't thank you enough, Heather and Gilbert. This was amazing and wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for having us and allowing us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.